This is a First Alert Weather Special Report.
Good evening. The sun has set and the snow continues to fall for some, not all of us. This is a special weather report to talk about our first snowfall of the season. As we look live outside, if you look down toward the street lamps, you can see we still have snow falling in Manhattan right now. The streets are wet, and as far as sticking to the cars, there's just a light coating. The temperature is still not at freezing, which means it's struggling to stick right now, the snow. 34 degrees, winds are out of the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Now, while accumulations in the city are not really happening, we did have one report from Ron Barber, who's in Glen Gardner, New Jersey, which is Hunterdon County, and there they picked up 2 inches of snow before seeing the transition to rain. And that transition is happening now for some. We're going to look more closely at the rain-snow line in just a minute. First, just want to bring you a little rundown of what you can expect. For those seeing snow, it's a heavy, wet snow, so please take caution when you finally decide to go out and clear it away. Some areas will see some heavy rainfall. I expect a ½ inch to an inch and down the Jersey Shore, across portions of the island. Wind gusts, they'll be gusting 30 to 50 miles per hour. The most likely window for this to happen is from 8 p.m. tonight through the midnight hour. And at that point in time when the winds really start to ramp up, that's when we could start to see a few power problems with trees or limbs coming down and impacting our power lines. Will this be an overwhelming power problem? I don't believe so. But this storm will have its best impacts, I think, north and west of the city, where we expect the biggest numbers. Here's how we're breaking it down from your First Alert Weather Center. It is 8 to 12 inches. This includes Sullivan County, Ulster, portions of Dutchess, and also northern Orange County, northwestern Sussex County. 4 to 8 inches, a little bit larger swath there. Yeah, that takes us back through Warren County, up through portions of Morris, Passaic, northwestern Bergen, Rockland, northern Westchester, Orange County, all the way up into Putnam and Dutchess counties. And then as we draw closer to the city, this is where the rain-snow line has a bigger impact. We're seeing snow really where you have the gray right now, with the exception of southern Hunterdon. But here we expect that 2 to 4 inch corridor because we are starting off with snow, but we are going to see that transition to rain. If it hasn't already happened for you, it will. 2 to 4 inches here includes much of Bergen County, southern Westchester, southern Fairfield County, and then all the way back into the midsection of Jersey. This trace to 2 is for much of the city, the exceptions being the Bronx and northern Manhattan, much of the island, and also down into Jersey. Yes, for those of you in Middlesex County, portions of Somerset, Mercer County, you're in the trace to 2. But the rain is really all happening Monmouth, Ocean counties, and the south shore of the island. You're essentially seeing just rain out of the system. Exception might be late tomorrow morning as the system exits. You'll see a little snow falling. Here it is, the current radar picture, and we can watch as heavy rain begins to make its way toward Philly and ultimately over the next few hours is pushing through portions of the tri-state area, but for some it will stay snow. We do see right now Nassau as well as Suffolk County, the northern reaches getting snow, Westchester, much of Westchester County getting snow, all of Bergen, Union, Hudson, Essex, seeing it there, across Morris County, a little bit lighter as we look up toward Orange as well as Sussex County. And then as we look, yes, it is looking really steady for southern Morris down into Somerset right now. Very good looking snow falling there. In the city, it's a light to moderate snow. And this is also where we see the rain-snow line struggling to make its way north. The pink is the rain-snow line. It is so slender right now. Southern half of Staten Island is trying to creep up, dropping back down. So the northern portion of Staten Island getting snow, southern portion seeing rain, and that is a very similar story across Brooklyn. Queens, you're really doing a good job holding on to the snow here, but of course for those of you along the coast, you're not seeing any snow out of this just now. You're seeing rain, and then of course for the coast of the island here, the South Shore, we're seeing plenty of rainfall as well. As we look at the wider picture, this is an area of low pressure lifting very rapidly in the northeasterly direction. Again, the heaviest rain pushing toward Philadelphia right now, the heaviest snowfall really just through central Jersey and making its way across portions of PA. This whole system will be off the east end of the island by tomorrow morning, the center of the low, but we're going to still get some wraparound snow as the system exits. Let's show you how things look hour by hour. We'll start off at 5 o'clock. You know, we're a little past that now. It's 5:19. As we push toward 9 p.m., notice the rain-snow line does make progress by this point in time. So it is raining for much of the island at this time, as well as much of Jersey. Only the northwestern regions of Jersey are holding on to snow at 9 p.m. and much of the lower Hudson. It is snow for you as well. Pushing closer to the midnight hour, essentially the worst of this storm is done. The heaviest rain, the heaviest snow will be pushing through now through roughly midnight. After that, we're going to see still activity, but it's not going to be as intense. 11 o'clock, it is raining for the city. It's raining for the island. It's raining for much of Jersey down shore, but we see snow still falling steadily and at times heavily in places like Dutchess as of 11 p.m. 1 a.m. looks less impressive, and then we make our way toward daybreak tomorrow. Things begin to fill in because at this point low pressure is out here and we're starting to bring back cold air and well as filling things in as the system gets a little bit more impressive off the coast. So 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're seeing a little bit of light rain through the city, little snow north and west still, and then as the system exits, as that cold air gets dragged in behind the storm, notice how we see the transition for all back to a little snow before this storm is all said and done. But accumulations tomorrow morning as snow rolls through will not be impressive. Any good shot we have at ample accumulation is happening right now through the early morning hours. 9 p.m. tomorrow night, we're done, folks. Things are drying out. As far as the wind gusts go, over the next few hours, you're going to feel those winds picking up, especially if you live along the coastline. This is where the winds will be most intense. Here you see the projection of 41-mile-per-hour gust in Belmar. These winds will help to drive some minor coastal flooding through the morning high tide cycle tomorrow. Just want to bring your attention. Here we are, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Notice where the center of the low is. It's pushing off the east end of the island, making its exit. And then, of course, as the winds start to come down, the storm is out of here. We're done. As far as impacts, biggest impacts will be north and west of the city where we anticipate those biggest snowfall totals. Expect the roadways to be treacherous through the overnight into the morning hours tomorrow. You could certainly see some power problems here with the heavy wet snow weighing down tree limbs. This, again, biggest impacts. In the purple, this is a winter weather advisory. This is that 2 to 4 inch corridor. So we will see some challenges in spots, but it's not going to be an overwhelming impact. Hopefully by daybreak tomorrow, it's still looking pretty and not just gross and slushy outside. And then in the gray, you're sitting pretty from the system, but you could have some localized flooding down shore across the island where the heavy rainfall comes through pretty quickly over the next several hours. As far as coastal flooding, again, it's tomorrow morning's high tide cycle that will be most impacted by this storm as it moves off the coastline and the winds help to push water on land. It's a half a foot to 1.5 feet of water moving into the usual spots. Minor coastal flooding is what is expected. Just a quick glance at those high tide times. Long Beach in New York, 4:11 a.m. is your high tide tomorrow morning as we make our way down the list. Willets Point to 7:13, Bridgeport, Connecticut at 7:26. Flash flooding risk is low with this storm system, but again, it's downshore the island. Best bet, because this is where we're seeing all rain, a half an inch to an inch total is possible. Tonight, the heaviest activity moves through. Snow for many right now. For some, it will transition to rain. North and west, it stays as snow. The temperature does not hit the freezing mark, and that's why accumulation becomes so challenging in and around the city. But areas north and west, obviously temperatures are cold enough to keep the snow sticking. Tomorrow, a morning mix changing over to some light snow as the storm system exits. By the noon hour, I think we're done with precipitation. Your temperature's 37 degrees and will start to dry out, and you can shovel out if you're one of those that are seeing more substantial accumulations. Now, will we finally end our snow-starved stretch? This is a fingers crossed situation because we're expecting a trace, maybe 2 inches total in the park to fall. It's a matter of when on the calendar it actually piles up. If we can get an inch by the midnight hour today, then we are done with this stretch of an inch or more falling in the park, right? It's happened. But let's say we get an inch and it spreads out a little bit tonight, and then tomorrow as the storm exits, we see a little bit more. That doesn't count. So we may continue to keep this counter climbing after this particular storm system. Checking out your 7-day forecast now. It is a red alert through tomorrow morning because of this coastal storm, our first snowstorm of the season. Monday, beautiful, bright, seasonable. It's 42 with sun. Tuesday into Wednesday is a storm system that I hope everybody is very mindful of. I think this storm right here has the potential to bring more widespread, more shall I say, impressive challenges to the region with heavy rain, flooding rain, and powerful winds that are sustained over a long period of time. Tuesday, Wednesday, I think, is a major event for the region if the forecast holds as we see it right now. Then we get into Thursday, Friday, things are just fine. It's in the mid-40s, looking good. Next Saturday, we're tracking another storm system. Again, red alert tonight into tomorrow morning, but hey, for some, things will look very pretty out of this snow. In fact, I wish I lived somewhere where we expect some more significant accumulations. If you have some pretty pictures you want to share with us, please go ahead and share them to our website, cbsnewyork.com/photos, or if you have your phone handy right now. Take a quick pic of your screen, scan the QR code, and upload your pictures. We want to share them during our newscast. We're going to be on live around 6 o'clock on CBS2 News, again at 11 tomorrow morning. We have many additional shows planned for you, and we want to share your pictures. Please take the time to share them with us again at cbsnewyork.com/photos. We are very grateful that you're here streaming with us today. Again, we've had some accumulations already reported with as much as 2 inches, and the numbers will continue to climb as the heaviest action moves through now until midnight. That's also when we'll experience the most powerful winds from our first snowstorm of the season. I'm meteorologist Vanessa Murdock, and thank you very much for being here with me. Please join us on CBS2 News at 6 o'clock for a complete live look at things that are happening around the region. Have a beautiful evening.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.